Hi, it's Ron Schuler with another Small Business Spotlight, where we showcase the amazing members in this group, hear their personal stories about how they started their businesses, and the passion behind what they do. Now, today I'm chatting with Andy Tucker from AJT Guns and Gunsmithing. Welcome, Andy. How are you?
Hey Ron, I'm doing well. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Well, we thank you for being here. Now, we'd like to hear all about AJT Guns and Gunsmithing, but first, tell me how you started the business.
Sure. So I think I got my first gun when I was about 5 years old. I grew up with guns. I remember getting my first little Red Ryder BB gun. You ever watch the movie The Christmas Story? It was just like that gun, mom saying, "You'll shoot your eye out." That was the gun that I started everything with. And being a pretty typical boy, I tore things apart and put them back together just to figure out how they worked. And that went on for a long time. In 1998, I enlisted in the military, in the Army, and I retired in 2019. So I added another 20, 20 and a half years worth of playing with weapons. And I got to, at the government's expense, play with even bigger weapons.
I know.
And in 2020, when the COVID epidemic hit, my wife realized that, like a lot of gun owners, I started getting packages in the mail. Some of them were really, really long, like the size of a rifle, and some of them were small, like the size of a pistol. Many of them had boxes of ammunition inside of them and were pretty heavy. And I started stacking stuff up. And my wife decided that I needed to either learn and figure out how to make money with this stuff that I began to collect, or how to get rid of it. And so, as opposed to getting rid of it, I'm more of a collector than I am a seller. As opposed to getting rid of it, I began researching in how to make money with guns. And I went and I took a couple college courses at SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute, on gunsmithing, and got my hands in gunsmithing. Turns out I've been doing this stuff for a long, long time. I just didn't know what to call it. And so I began the journey towards where we're at now with AJT Guns and Gunsmithing.
Well, great. So, what services does AJT Guns and Gunsmithing specialize in?
Sure. So I do a ton of repairs. In fact, that's the majority of the work that I do. People bring me a weapon that isn't functioning the way that they wanted to, or the way the manufacturer specified it to. I began playing with this is a Ruger New Vaquero. I began playing with cowboy action stuff and just having fun with it, and I learned that I know how to make this stuff work very, very cleanly and very smooth, very quick. And so I began working with single action revolvers similar to that. And it moved quickly on. I've worked with some old military rifles. I've worked with a whole bunch of different stuff, up to and including modern weapons. I've got a couple examples here, if you're okay with me showing.
Absolutely.
This is a Colt, a 1941 year it was made, Huntsman, and shoots a little 22 long rifle. When I got this, it was completely inoperable and didn't work at all. I researched, found some parts, and I got it back to working in perfect condition. And this is one of the treasures that I've got here at the gun shop. Another one I've got. This is a Winchester. It's a model 1890, or I'm sorry, 1880, a little 22 pump rifle. When I got it, it was again completely inoperable. And I went and researched, found some parts. I actually had to have a buddy machine and make some parts for me. But this little rifle, if it could just tell stories, I imagine being a 22 that it could have fed a family during the Great Depression. It was just, it's one of those kinds of treasures that I thoroughly enjoy. A lot of the business that I get is modern stuff. Of course, most hunters and just in gun enthusiasts use modern weapons as opposed to really, really old weapons. And so I will mount in bore sight or zero scopes. A lot of people bring me shotguns that will need to be drilled and tapped so that they can put a scope on it or a dot on it for turkey hunting. I recently have just began manufacturing and selling my own personalized weapon. I This just started this year. Well, the idea started last year, but as far as getting it commercially available, it just started this year. So I have my own version of an AR-15. The model is the Sweetheart. I made it after my wife. My wife is Jen, the J of AJT Guns, and she is the original Sweetheart. I think I'm married to the best woman in the entire world, and so I did this in her honor and designed a rifle that is able to compete with all of the mid and upper level ARs that are in the field, and named after her. So the model is the Sweetheart. All of the serial numbers start with JENN, and then it's got her favorite Bible verse on the other side. I've got one here. Let me pull it up here and show you. Get that closer to the camera here. So
So there's
this
a
is
Bible,
my
there's a Bible verse on there.
There sure is. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on it real quick. Can you see the engraving on
Oh,
there?
yes. Uh-huh.
So that is my wife's favorite Bible verse. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." And it's got all my engravings, all my markings on it. And but this is my commercially available Sweetheart that we designed from the ground up.
So would you say collectors are a big part of your business?
Yes, yes, collectors. Another part of my business that's fairly large, unfortunately, is when collectors pass away and their family has no idea what in the world they've got. They'll bring them to me, and I get a chance to appraise those weapons and give them an idea not just of the age and the treasure that they're holding on to, but a little bit of an idea of the value if they were trying to sell it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So where are you located?
So my address is in Brandenburg, Kentucky. I am just south of the Ohio River. Just north of me is Corden, Indiana. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'm located in Brandenburg, Kentucky.
Okay, and what areas do you typically serve?
So I've had people come as far as Bowling Green. I've traveled a little ways to help people, um, as far away as Louisville, and I've had people mail me weapons from Texas, from Florida. So part of the stuff that I do is in refinishing is I'll do the stock refinishing, and I also re-blue. And so I've had people mail me. I'm trying to think if Arizona, I think, is the farthest one away that I had that needed to be re-blued, and I shipped back out.
Okay, now the next question you probably partially answered, but what would you say makes AJT Guns and Gunsmithing unique and sets you apart from other like businesses?
Sure. First of all, there's just not a lot of gunsmiths anymore. It is a dying business with the new manufacturing and the way things are coming. A lot of weapons are user replaceable parts, or you just replace the entire thing. You throw away large chunks and just replace the entire thing. So there's not a ton of gunsmiths out there. And what sets me apart a lot of times is the fact that I enjoy customer interaction. I thoroughly most people that are mechanically inclined are a little bit of an introvert. They want to sit back in their shop and just work. And I'm fine with that. In fact, those are my friends, and those are the kinds of people that I work with. But I'm more of an extrovert, and I like getting out in the public. I like talking to people about things. I'm a little bit of a history buff. And so I love digging into these old weapons and finding out the things that they could have done. For the History Museum here in Meade County, I worked on a 1857 Lafouche pistol that they had that was in their museum. and it was probably to date the oldest weapon. Nah, I've worked with some black powder that may have been older, but one of the oldest weapons that I've worked on, and I thoroughly enjoy working with both old and new weapons.
Great. So, how would someone contact you?
Sure. So I'm available on, of course, I've got all the social medias, YouTube, TikTok, and you can find me at Andy or AJT Guns, or you can find me if you just search Andy Tucker. My email is andy@ajtguns.com. I have a website. It's in the works of being finished. It's ajtguns.com, but
Okay.
it's not completely up yet.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of ways to reach you, and I will put all that contact information above this video so that when people want to contact you, it'll be right there for them. Well, thank you so much, Andy Tucker, for joining us today from AJT Guns and Gunsmithing. Please reach out to Andy for all your gun needs, and even if you have any questions.
Thank you,
Andy,
Ron. I really do appreciate the opportunity. I think I just interrupted you. I apologize for that,
that's
but I
okay.
really do appreciate this opportunity. This was incredible.
Well, it was very informative, at least for me, and I'm sure our viewers will find it equally as informative. Would you like to be featured on a small business spotlight? Just reach out to me using the information above. I'd love to hear from you. That's today's small business spotlight. I'm Ron Schuler. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Andy.